The S21 FE was released last year in January of 2022, approximately 2 years after the S20 FE was released. Plus, this year, Samsung just released a whole line of S23 phones as well. So with this phone costing about $500, is it still worth buying in 2023 and the years to come? Well, in today's video, I will be reviewing it and sharing a major flaw I found and other users have found about this phone as well. Let's get into it. One of the major selling points to the S21 FE is how lightweight this is, but also the size. It is a 6.4-inch display. The display is made with Gorilla Glass. Since it has a plastic back, it's very lightweight, and the aluminum curved edges makes it comfortable to hold. You don't feel like your hand's gonna feel cramped after holding it for a long time. It's not heavy in the hands despite its size. I asked my boyfriend what his favorite thing was about his phone, and he said that 1, it was the size, but 2, the fact that it barely has any bezels, and I have to agree because it gives you a lot more space when you're watching videos, playing games, or scrolling. You just get a lot more real estate when it comes to thinner bezels, and honestly, it makes a big difference. As for the full HD AMOLED display with 120Hz refresh rate, you're gonna get smooth scrolling experience, vibrant colors, and honestly no issues using this display at all unless you have bad eyes, but overall it's a really great experience. When I was using the Samsung phone, it was a really nice experience. I do notice a difference from 60Hz refresh rate to 120Hz refresh rate, and it made me sad to go back to my iPhone, but you guys who are, in the Samsung family are very familiar with it, so it's no news to you guys that it's a really good experience over 60Hz refresh rate. On top of that, it has a brightness of 792 nits, perfect enough for going outside. It is on par with the iPhone 13 800 nits as well, so when you're scrolling inside or outside, you're gonna have a good experience. You're not gonna struggle looking at your screen or reading texts. Alright, so we started the review on a really good note. Let's go into the major flaw I found and other users have found as well, and that is the battery. So with a bigger phone, it presumably should have a better battery life. The S21 FE has a battery of 4500 mAh, which should calculate to about 11 hours of battery life. Now, I did a whole day in the life review, did some battery check-ins, and drained it to about 6% to the point where it needed to be charged. And from that experiment, I got 10 to 11 hours of battery and about 4.5 screen time. That day, I was just using it as a casual user, not as a content creator. So I was going on social media, taking some photos and videos, listening to music, going on the internet, and all of that stuff. So from my experience, I thought it was generally kind of low because it is a new phone. It did come out just a year ago. And with new phones, usually the battery will be at around 20 to 15% by the end of the day. But by the end of the day, the S21 FE was at 5%. Now, as a content creator, if I used it to create content, it would probably be drained out a lot faster. Now, in that video, it was a mixed review of half the people loving this phone and the other half just criticizing the battery life. A commenter even said the A52 is much better in terms of the battery and its temperature is stable. The S21 FE was the opposite. I charge it 4 times a day and its temperature rises quickly and the system is unstable. With my experience, I got about 10 to 11 hours with casual usage, and I even went to Reddit to read some more comments to see what other people thought of the S21 FE battery as well. Another Reddit user said, I switched to the S21 FE after getting rid of the awful Pixel 6 Pro. My only complaint is the battery. It drains quick. I have to charge it at least once a day and sometimes twice to top it off. Other than that, no issues whatsoever. The general consensus seems to be that the battery could be better, and I do agree since it did just come out last year. Now, we do have to remember that it is a $500 phone, and so it's not $1,000. It's not the top spec phone. Because of this, I wanted to look deeper into this and compare it to other phones within this price range, within the year that it came out, and see how their battery stacks up to the S21 FE. So let's start off with the S21 FE. You can get it for about $599 and you'll get up to 10 hours of battery life. The A52 will go for about $499 and you can get up to 14.5 hours of battery life. The iPhone 13 will go for about $699 and you will get up to 15 hours of battery life. The Google Pixel 6 will go for about $599 and you will get up to 8 hours of battery life. Now with the Google phones, there's always a hit or miss. You either really like it or you don't like it because their cameras aren't always top notch. But with the Google UI, it's really smart in the technology they put into it. So it's a hit or miss with the Google phones. The OnePlus 9 Pro will go for about $800 and you will get up to 12 hours of battery life. Although the major flaw to the S21 FE is the battery, is it a bad phone? Honestly, no. You're still gonna get a lot for, $500. So we're gonna talk more about why it's still a really good phone. With the 12 megapixel camera and also 1.8 aperture, you're gonna get really vibrant and highly colorful photos where the colors just jump out at you. Here are just some photos from Vancouver and random memories with my boyfriend, but whenever we're taking photos with this, I honestly really like the photos. The lines are very crisp, a lot of color just pops out at you, and when you're comparing it to the iPhone 13, sometimes the photos on the S21 FE comes out honestly better, and so it really is just comparing apples to oranges, what you like better when it comes to comparing Apple to Samsung, but you will get great photos from these. You're not gonna have any issues at all. One of Samsung's strong selling points is its zoom. The optical zoom and digital zooms in the Samsungs always beats Apple out of the park. I am always so jealous of Samsung photos of the moon because they get really good digital zoom and get up close to the moon or some sort of scenery. When it comes to videos, you will also get vibrant, colorful videos as well. This technology in this honestly stabilizes the footage pretty well. There is also a super steady mode, but you won't be able to use it in Ultra HD. You will go down to 1080 pixels when you're using super steady mode, but regardless, you're still gonna get really good and smooth footage. As great as the back camera is when it comes to video and photo, I cannot say the same thing for the front-facing camera. When I was doing a direct comparison between the iPhone 13 and the S21 FE for my day in the life video, I was shocked at how horrible the footage looked. I was so washed out, my face looked like it aged at least 5 years, and I looked extremely pale. Whereas the iPhone 13, the colors were more vibrant, I looked a bit more softer, and it was more true to how I looked like versus the S21 FE. I'm currently running a Geekbench test as well, so the results will be coming out soon. But as we wait, let's talk about the processor. Samsung has come out with two processors for the S21 FE, the Exynos 2100 and the Snapdragon 888, which is what this one is. It also has 6 GB of RAM and 128 GB of storage. So when it comes to processor, switching from apps to apps, navigating this phone, it is quite a seamless experience and quite flawless. My boyfriend's had this phone for about 8 months now and he hasn't run into any issues at all. Someone even said that the experience with the S21 FE is even better than the S20 FE, so there is a noticeable positive improvement when it comes to the processor. The results just came in. So this phone has a single core score of 1067 and a multi-core score of 2859. Which is honestly really good and very comparable to the competitors. As for storage, 128 GB will be alright, but I think if you have more intensive apps like gaming apps, editing apps, or take a lot of photos and videos, it's gonna be filled up quite quick. My boyfriend already used up nearly all of the storage in this phone and he doesn't even take much photos or videos. But if you use it casually and don't use too many apps or take too many photos or videos, 128 GB is gonna be enough for you guys. As for the speakers, you're not gonna get, amazing quality audio. It's gonna be perfectly fine. But as someone who uses Apple predominantly, I do find the speakers in the iPhones a lot better than the Samsung. The audio just cuts through more clear. With the S21 FE, I find that the louder the volume is, the noisier the audio sounds and less clear it is compared to the iPhones. And my boyfriend also agrees that the iPhone speakers are better than the S21 FE. If you're going to be using this phone for gaming, my boyfriend says that he hasn't had any experience with glitching, lags, or any freezes, but when he's playing high graphics games like Genshin Impact Mobile or Call of Duty, he does notice that it does heat up quite a bit, but overall, the S21 FE honestly meets all his gaming needs, especially with the bigger display. Now, the S21 FE also comes with a 240Hz sampling rate on gaming mode, an upgrade from the S20 FE. So this means that the phone is just more responsive to your touches when you're playing games. In this economy, money is everything and you want to get the most out of your money. If you can get this phone on sale, you're gonna get a lot out of it. Although the battery isn't the best, you are still gonna get about 10 to 11 hours of battery and at least 5 to 6 hours of screen time. I just checked my boyfriend's average screen time and he gets about 6 hours of screen time with this phone. And so with that being said, you will get a good amount of battery, although it could be better with it being new and a bigger phone. You're not gonna get like 5 hours of battery, it's gonna be fine. So is it still worth in 2023? I personally think so, especially for the price point and for the years to come. My boyfriend only has to charge it at least once a day, and although that's not the greatest, it's perfectly fine. And the battery is something I thought would be better, but if you can look past the battery issue and be okay with what it comes with, you're gonna love the phone. My boyfriend honestly loves it. He upgraded from the A71, a mid-range priced phone, and he really appreciates how it is a 6.4-inch display and barely any bezels. It's perfect for gaming and everyday use. A lot of the people who commented on my day in the life also loved the phone as well. That was my review on the Samsung S21 FE. I hope y'all enjoyed it. If this helped you out, definitely slap that like button for me. I would totally appreciate it. And if you aren't subscribed already, consider it. I make a lot of tech and lifestyle content. However, that is it for me, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.